Well, today on the channel, I got a 2024 hiker who came through the devastation zone and how that went for her. Of course, I've got 2025 intros as well as 2025 folks that have gotten on trail. That is awesome. So no boat season is here. And of course, some trail information, and it's going to be a short one today, folks. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that due to my injury is the main reason it's going to be a short one today. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that here at the end. And so let's go ahead and dive right in. So we got Toppy. She's our 2024 Sobo. So she, as far as I know, is the last of the Sobos that are coming through, and she came through the devastation zone unscathed and made it through there with, to my knowledge, very little road walks. The only road walk that I know that she didn't stay on the trail was through the Iron Mountain Gap area, and we had given her a road walk through there. And by we, I actually mean Bright Eyes. So Bright Eyes, who was Sadie's mom, or is Sadie's mom, the lost hiker dog. Bright Eyes had worked out, and Bright Eyes has been helping me update the spreadsheet for the trail openings and closures and what's going on with them, as well as the map. And she had spent time and worked out a road walk around all the areas that were closed at the time, but really the only one we need now is the one around the Iron Mountain Gap area. So Toppy made it through that, and that worked out for her good, and the rest of it she was able to get through. Of course, there in Irwin, where the Chestoa Bridge at Uncle Johnny's got washed out, she couldn't do anything about that. So she did have to walk around that area. So she made it through, so she can make it through on her Sobo trip now. By the time the Nobos get there, hopefully some of that will be cleared. We're going to talk about the Iron Mountain Gap and what's taking it so long to be cleared there, and it ain't about the trees. It's about the bureaucracy. So, but let's keep moving on. So 2025, we got out there Jukebox. He is back on trail. So started in 2024, got off for the holidays, and he is back on, and he decided to flip all the way down to Amalola Falls State Park, and he is going to be continuing his hike from there as a flip-flop. Then we got Greystoke. He is getting ready to get on trail in Southwest Virginia, so he'll be doing a flip-flop. He says he's going to be one of the first ones on trail and the last one to get off, and that is awesome. Last one to Katahdin wins, right? Or last one to get off the Appalachian Trail wins. 007, he sends us in his announcement video.
Hello, Ramdino. 007 here. I'm going to send you a video announcing my intent to hike the Appalachian Trail here in 2025, starting on the 10th of January. This will be my second attempt. I started in 2024 but had to pull off trail due to injuries. If you want to follow along on YouTube, you can find me at Hiking with 007. Thanks for everything you do, Ramdino.
And he starts in just a few short days. So good luck to you, 007. Then we got Scott. He starts either on February 16th or 23rd. Go ahead, Scott.
Hello, Ramdino. I am Scott Free, and I will be attempting to thru-hike the Appalachian Trail in 2025. Plan start on February 23rd, but if the weekend prior to that looks good, I'll start on February 16th. I did attempt to hike the trail in 2024. I got injured fairly early on, left knee, and ended up only making it as far as Klingman's Dome. I'm a lot more fit this year. I've lost 10 pounds, hope to lose a little bit more before I start, and I'll hope to have a better outcome this year, but any time on the trail is better than sitting on the couch at home. And so I'll give it another shot, and wish me luck. And if you want to follow along, you can find me on Scott Free Hiking, YouTube, and I'll see y'all down the trail.
So this is his attempt number 2. He got hurt last year, and he's lost, I think he said he lost like 10 pounds. So believe me, that makes a difference in your fitness level out there on the trail. So I know that I lost 13 pounds. I know, hard to believe that looking at me, but I lost 13 pounds at one time and probably gained them all already back. But I lost 13 pounds, and I know that my typical hiking partner come along, he got out there on the trail, and he couldn't keep up with me, even on hills where he usually has the advantage of me. So, and he made that comment. So, you know, losing a a decent amount of weight can make a difference in your hiking pace and how well you hike and just how well you feel in general and your health in general. So way to go there, Scott. Gansett girl, she started actually on November 4th at Delaware Water Gap. And so she's a 24, 25, and she is stopped now near Bowling Springs and will be getting back on shortly.
Hey Rambino, thanks for letting me submit a video. My trail name's Gansett Girl. I'm Lisa Rana, and I am hiking the Appalachian Trail as a through hike in, well, it's really 2024, 2025 because I already started it on November 4th. I have some videos posted on my YouTube channel, and I'm also on Instagram, Gansett Girl Hikes, or it's under Lisa Rana. So if you want to check it out, love to have anybody want to follow along. It's been quite an adventure already getting through the rocks of Pennsylvania, but thanks so much, and hope to see you soon.
Tony, he is a retired law enforcement officer. He sends in his intro.
Hello, Ramdino. I'm Tony, amateur radio call sign KG4TAH, Kilo Golf 4, Tango Alpha Hotel. I just retired as a police officer in the city of Thomasville, North Carolina, with 30 years of service. In 2025, I'll be doing a full hike of the Appalachian Trail. I want to thank you for the service you provide, giving us all the trail updates and information. Look forward to sending you videos as I complete this journey. Catch you in a couple months.
Fancy Pants and Curious George, they have started their Bama to Baxter tour, and she sends in this video.
Fancy Pants and Curious George coming at you. So this is day 4 of our hike. There's George. Day 4 of our hike, and kind of an interesting story here. I missed the southern terminus on my first day because I took a wrong turn. And I wasn't really that far off, but I had to come to the spot where it all begins, just to retrace my steps and connect the dots.
And then Wolfie, he started his hike. He is hiker number 2 from Amicalola Falls State Park. Go ahead, Wolfie.
Wolfie here, just to report in. I'm hiker number 2. That's the man right there. He's hiker number 3. We saw hiker number 1, but he was filling all long-term parking passes. We were registering, didn't get to talk to him. And then we also talked to hikers 5 and 6. We're all starting at Springer Mountain today. But catch you later in a few days, maybe. It's a balmy 28 degrees up here.
So that's awesome. So congratulations to all those that got started and all those that sent in their intro video and getting ready to get started. We've got several that will be getting started over the next couple weeks. I encourage you to go to my support list down below. That link is down there if you're part of the hiker community, and go and keep them cheered on. Even right now, a lot of them are dropping videos, and if you're a thru hiker out there and you want to be on the support list, the link to put yourself on that is down below. So send me a 30-second video or a selfie of yourself while you're on trail, and let us know where you're at, how things are going, what the trail conditions are, so folks behind you will know what's going on with the trail and the water sources and shelter conditions and crowding and hostile conditions, things like that as you go along. Be sure you do send me the file and not just a link to your YouTube video, because I cannot download links to YouTube videos. I can only take your file. So be sure you send that to me. And now let's get to some trail news. But before we do, I've got surgery coming up and I need to pay a partial down payment. So let me go ahead and run today's sponsor. Well, there may be one trail that's got white blazes on it, because I'm not on the Appalachian Trail. I'm on the Foothills Trail with the end of day's hike. But there's only one electrolyte drink mix. It's going to take care of all of your electrolyte loss like none other, and that's Element Drink Mix. It's got 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Everything you need to get those electrolytes back in your system that you lost all day. No sugar, none of the junk that you don't need. And right now you can go to drinkelement.com And with every order, they'll give you a free sample pack of all of their flavors. That's drinklmnt.com/Ramdino. Be sure and use my special link there to get that special order of their free sample pack. And next year, plan to be here in the Foothills Trail for the end of days hike, right after Christmas. So, back to the trail news. So what's going on there? Well, one of the things we had talked about earlier that's going to be different in an earlier video, what's going to be different for the class 2025 is we've lost a lot of shelters and hikers, and hostels rather. And we have lost a lot of shelters, particularly in the devastation zone, and we've lost some hostels. When one of those was around the bend, which formerly was top of Georgia, and it's called that because it's the last hostel in the state of Georgia before you get to the North Carolina state line. So it had closed down and it was no longer hostel. Well, it has been bought by Stanimals from the Stanimals of Glasgow and Waynesboro fame. And so it is now Stanimals at Around the Bend Hostel. So that is awesome. It's opening back up for the 2025 season. They're going to be expanding the outfitter and the resupply store and shuttles, but right now it's just open for hostel. So that is awesome to hear. Stanimals had sold his hostels there in Waynesboro and in Glasgow, and he's staying along with those folks to help them out for the first year of operation. And so it looks like now he has expanded or just rolled that capital gains over into Around the Bend there in Georgia. So awesome to hear that is going to be a resource for hikers out there. Of course, we lost Uncle Johnny's, but Uncle Johnny's is in the rebuilding phase, so they demoed it, and now they have come back and they have started they're in the reframing phase, and hopefully we'll have it dried in this month. Their goal is to actually have it in operation by the end of February. So don't know if that is going to happen or not. We'll see. Wish them the best of luck in doing that. Coming from the construction world myself, I'm not sure about that, but certainly staying on it with diligence and everything. Hopefully that they will get that going and they will be open just as soon as possible. Not much progress has been made on the remaining 6 or so miles left on the Appalachian Trail there in Tennessee. That was where the devastation occurred. All the trail damage was from all the trees and everything down. Of course, all the trail is hikeable with the exception of around the Iron Mountain Gap area. And so that, we lost Cherry Gap Shelter. Iron Mountain Gap still has a bunch of trees around it. To my knowledge, currently they are not cutting there, and not quite sure why. My opinion, which is based on information I've received from folks in the know, is that the National Forest Service may be considering monetizing the damage some way. And by that, the only way I can see that they could monetize it is if all the wood that's on the ground, if they somehow harvested that. So that would be a monumental effort to get to it to begin with. Short of using choppers, which would be, to me, far too expensive to get in there unless they had some government subsidies. But that would be the only way to get there to it without just completely tearing the woods and all the other species that are in there to smithereens. Certainly, I would like to see all that lumber that is on the ground harvested in some way, shape, or form. And that was part of the reason why the National Forests were even put into existence, was be a place where a supply for the building of our nation. And so it's not unusual for national forests to be portions of them to be harvested. Of course, we lost so much from Hurricane Helene that they don't typically take that much at one time. But if they could use that, that would be great. So I would not have a problem with that at all if they could use it. The problem I see is that a lot of that wood is being put under stress, which makes it not able to be used for lumber. To my knowledge, most lumber plants and lumber processing places will not take wood that's been under stress. And you can see it's been under stress just because of the twists and turns and everything in it, and how when they have cut it, it's split apart. So that doesn't make good lumber. You can't grade it properly. And I would imagine the only thing it's good for at this point is pulpwood. And I don't know, there would have to be subsidies that would offset the expense of going in there to it, to get to it. It's just so difficult to get to it. But again, that's just an opinion of mine based on information I have from some inside sources, and that may not be something that happens at all. The ATC wants you to do a flip-flop, and they want you to do a flip-flop because they want you to flip up around this area of damage once you get, I guess, into North Carolina, probably around Franklin or even through the Smokies. They want you to flip around the damaged area and then come back and do that later. And that's because they're still, even though we don't have the cutting through the Iron Mountain Gap area, right now trail clubs are out there fixing root balls and repairing the trail that might have been washed away or something like that. Have not heard of a lot of the trail being washed away. Have not heard of any backcountry bridges being washed out. The only bridge I'm aware of right now is the Chestoa Bridge, which was a highway bridge, and that is a 4 or 5 mile walk around at this point that is easy to do. But there is trail repairs going on, and so you get the NOBO group going through there. It's going to take longer than a month or 2 months to get all that work done. And hikers hiking NOBO through there, if you get a couple hundred a day going through there, that's going to cause them, because they have to stop work when you come across wherever they're working. That's going to cause some issues from them and slowdowns. They will stop work for you. As Joe Morris with the Eastman Hiking Club said, y'all are the paying customers, and they're going to stop what they're doing and let y'all come through. But you can see that how that would cause problems throughout the course of the day to stop and start as people come through. So that's why the ATC is recommending a flip-flop this year. May not be a bad idea, although I am not recommending that just because I don't know what the economic ramifications are for those. There's a lot of, of the club, not of the clubs, but of the shuttles and hostels in those sections that this time of year, particularly those that are so impacted, like Hot Springs and Damascus and some other places that were so impacted, they need that money coming in. So, and they need it coming in now. And so for you to flip around them now and come back later is a detriment to them. So I'm not fully on board with that flip-flopping right now. I know that everything except Iron Mountain Gap is hikeable. There are areas that are closed, and from Bald Mountain Shelter up to Doll Flats is officially closed by the Pisgah National Forest, although it is hikeable and cleared with the exception of around the Iron Mountain Gap area. So not telling you to go through those areas that are closed, but they are passable and they are hikeable is what my sources out there in the trail clubs tell me. The latest portions of the trail that were cleared by the Eastman was up to the Spivey Gap section. So the border there between Eastman and the CMC, Carolina Mountain Club, is at Spivey Gap. And so north of Spivey Gap, that has now been cleared. South of there had already been cleared. And so, you're good to go through that portion of it, which brings you all the way into Irwin and beyond. So moving on to hikers getting started, bag tags will not be available until February 15th down at Amicalola Falls State Park. So the bag tag is the little hang tag they give you to hang on your tag that has your hiker number on it when you got started. So those that get started before then, you can pick that up when you get to Damascus or Harper's Ferry. Those that after, you'll pick it up down there, and that is also when the Georgia Appalachian Trail Club will start their program down there of checking people in and going over the principles of leave no trace and the other stuff that they put together for folks down there to encourage you to take those classes, and they reward you with a bag tag for doing so. If you refuse to take those classes, I don't know if they would refuse you a bag tag or not, but it doesn't matter. If you're down there, you might as well go ahead and take advantage of that. If you're registering, it doesn't take 30 minutes or less. You might as well go ahead and take advantage of that, and you may actually get something out of it if you're not used to hiking much. But one of the trail club members told me that if you'll go ahead and register before you get down there and keep your registration number, or at least know it when you get down there and you sign in, if you will be given a prompt to sign in with your registration number, and then it will self-populate everything into the registration. So the days of filling out the paper ledgers are gone. We're all now on little ones and zeros. So we're all now in the virtual world. So you'll be signing in on a tablet or a PC down there. And if you have your number, then it'll go a whole lot faster for you. So one of the things I want to apologize for this week is this short video and the lack of information that I normally give you. To be honest with you, it's because of my injury. So I fell about 10 feet out of a tree with a chainsaw in hand, do stupid things, get stupid prizes, and so I broke my wrist, and I'm going to have it was my radius, so I'm going to have the radius internal fixation device, which basically means they're going to cut me open, put basically a truss plate in there, or a T-plate, piece of metal, rod, or plate actually, and screw it together with about a dozen screws, and screw my wrist bone and my radius and all that back together in there. So that's really going to suck. But right now I'm having to use the RICE method, which stands for rest, ice, compression, and elevation. And I have to do that on a regular basis to get the swelling down, because you can't have any swelling when you go into surgery. That's coming up Wednesday. And then also, just to be honest with you, it took me a while to get the script together for this video today, and it's going to take me a while to finish up when I get done with this, because it's just a lot of pain. I mean, it comes and goes. And so I do have some ibuprofen that they get, a cocktail of ibuprofen and acetaminophen they give me, but it still hurts. So I just have to stop and go and ice it when it starts hurting, or put compression on it, or elevation, or what have you. So it takes a long time to do all that, and it just hurts, period. And it's going to hurt a lot more after I get done with the surgery. So that's just coming Wednesday. Greatly appreciate your prayers or good thoughts, or whatever you do, you can send my way. Those would be greatly appreciated. And don't forget to do the same for the doctors and for my lovely wife, Trail Boss, also known in the real world as Angela. And because she is an angel for looking after me and putting up with me just on a normal basis, much less doing stupid stuff like falling out of a tree and landing on my head and my wrist. So in the meantime, I will try to keep up with the videos. If I do get a little slack over the next couple weeks, you'll understand why. Hopefully you'll understand why. I will be dropping a video of my final interview with Bright Eyes, who is Sadie's mom, and concluding the search for Sadie and everything that wrapped that up. So originally we had done an interview during the search, and now this is after the search. So the link to that will be over here. And then I'll also hopefully be finishing up dropping my Pennsylvania videos of my Pennsylvania hike this past summer. I know there's been so much going on, hadn't got a chance to drop in those, but people have been asking for them. So going to get those out, and they'll be over here as well. Folks, that's all I've got this week. As always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out there. Whew.